talking without. Okay, so today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about heat and all the techniques that I use to try to take care of my beautiful babies. As I've said in most of my videos, I am in the Southwest in Phoenix, Arizona. So this is mostly for people that have that kind of climate, because I know you guys in the East have way more humidity than we do. This is our monsoon season. It's been kind of stinky lately, but the mornings are when we're most humid. So right now we're at 95 degrees at 8:30 in the morning with 30% humidity. So it's a little sticky for us. The hard thing for us too is we'll be up over 100 by 10, and the UV rays will be at 10 by 11 o'clock. So I usually have to put my geese up in the middle of the day and then let them back out when it's over 110, but the UV is nominal, so they can manage it. Anyway, so the babies have said good morning and are playing with my shoes. I have alluded to the fact that we do keep misters to add that little bit of moisture into the air, but it also helps us cool. We do usually have the fountain running, so that it keeps them a constant source of cool water that's usually about 70 to 80 degrees, usually closer to the 70 mark, but our solar pump went down. That's it, on the corner of the house. So we're waiting for the new pump to come in. So I've hosed down the patio. Again, this does introduce a little more humidity into the air, but once the humidity breaks, it's nice and cool. I've done fresh water in their tubs. The pool gets changed out every 3 days. We also have an evap cooler over there where the rug is, and these coolaroo beds. They do love those. I hose them down so they get nice and cool, and then they'll lay on them too. Now again, you guys have known my struggle, and the grass is struggling this year. This side we opened up probably a little too soon before it established, so they've made a habit of eating more on this side, and it's getting a little thin because again the temperatures have been hot. We were still trying to figure out our watering schedule, but it's surviving. The grass makes a massive difference for us. So we did install water efficient sprinklers so that there's not as much evaporation, not as much waste to the environment. They get a nice good soak. And because I'm not having to clean so many rugs, now I did let everybody in into air conditioning yesterday, so my rugs are back out. But I haven't had to clean my rugs in 2 weeks. So all the water I used to do to hose those rugs down, I can now supplement my grass with. And they are pretty content just laying in the grass, usually in the shade as a preference, and it's nice and cool. Now, okay babies, we're gonna walk. So in the afternoons, when it's super hot, yesterday it was 112, I put one of those sprinklers, those oscillating sprinklers, on low, and I just kind of added that grass to the water, or water to the grass area, and then it just dropped the temperature by like 6 degrees. So they made this area much more manageable to do. And it's just one of these little things. So the other thing that we have is the pond. Now Buttercup and Blossom and Tinsel, my non-Sebastipoles, love the pond. The Sebastipoles are still getting used to it, and I don't know if it's because, it's just a big dark hole. I don't know if they just don't like the step, but I have seen Severon come in and he started diving. Meriwether, Flora, they're all starting to use it. So it is getting more and more attention, especially as the days get hotter. So when I start seeing them migrate into the pond area, I know they're hitting their temperature differences. So we also have a full-size evap on their pen, so it runs when they're in the pen, and it's summertime. So pretty much from April to September, October. It is a downdraft just because we got it less expensive for that. And then it just pushes the air through. Could we have ducted the whole pen? Yes, we could have. But we didn't. And the reason we didn't is because we put temperature gauges and we stood back here, and the air is getting back there. It may not be the best, but it is getting back there, so it's circulating. We also have solar fans in here. You can see they're warming up for the day. So they also help circulation. We're going to add a couple more of those. And then the other thing that I do is I change my water buckets every single day. So I have 8 2-gallon buckets in here, just hung throughout the space. These come out every morning, get washed, refilled, and brought back in so they're not sitting in the sun. And then I recently have started adding ice into their water in the afternoon so that it stays cool for the night. I have been using those molds for like meal preps that have like the big squares or the big rectangles, so you can portion control or easily freeze out portions and then mix and match. That's what I'm using for those. And so I do 1 brick into each bucket in the afternoon. So like when I push them out for when I see that it's getting super hot, I'll either come out and feel the water, or I'll do it when I do their afternoon break, so they have cool water for the night. Sand is the other thing that we did. So we come in here, and you can't tell we cleaned this yesterday. They're still molting. But we come in here, we rake it, we turn it. We'll sometimes mist it to add a little bit of cool, but again, like right now, it's humid for us. So, some of these steps clearly are not going to work for you back east, but hopefully this gives you a little insight to all the steps that we do. And then the final thing is obviously treats. Those are their treat buckets. They're being rinsed out from last night. So every night when they go up for the evening, they get romaine, frozen peas, cucumbers, and I'll usually do celery. I will give them watermelon outside of the pen, but I don't like taking it inside of the pen because I just don't want to introduce more options for ants in their space. So it's usually under control, and I think the watermelon's a big piece of it. So the baby say hello. And that is my daily routine for heat. Okay, so I mentioned ice in the last video. So here's my stash of ice bricks. So see, they're good size and they fit in the bucket. They make it cool, but not super cool. This room is my other option for trying to manage heat. This is my sunroom. It's obviously much smaller than their pen, so that's why I'm trying to do the pen more, but I put baby gates up so that I have a clear path to walk when needed. I put the rugs down. I put anti-fatigue mats underneath the rugs. There they are. And then I turn on the window air conditioning unit. Now, I turn this unit down to only about 85. Usually with all the geese in here, the best it can do is low 90s, but I don't want to turn it down any lower because I don't want them to get acclimated to too cold of weather. So since it is summertime, 90 is still better than 115. They do still have some respite from the intense sun, and then they can lay down in here and rest. Yesterday, the adult girls, again, Buttercup, Blossom, those ladies, they did not want to go out to the pen. They really wanted the sunroom, and I want snuggle time. So I accommodated them by having this space ready. So it's now been reset for today. We will be getting up to probably 120 this week. So I will probably implement this room Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, because that's it. The other things that I do is Try to give them extra vitamins and minerals. Now, CB Smashables recently did a video on Poultry Boost. I couldn't find it, so I did do Poultry Cell. So this is one of the things. It says an ounce per gallon of water. My geese don't like super heavy, so I just did 1 ounce in each bucket, which is 2 gallons. And then the next day, when I switched out their water, I tried this Hydrohen stuff, and I actually really like it. It's from Mana Pro. It's got probiotics, electrolytes, and acidifiers. It smelled very nice. The geese seemed to enjoy it. It was a little pricey, but I would absolutely buy this again. So there are 2 other things that I do. If I don't have this available, or if you don't have those available for you, or the Poultry Boost, I ordered mine through Chewy because all my feed stores were out this weekend. So I'm going to get that, and I will add it to their food like CB recommended in her video. But you can also do like a splash of Powerade and a spoonful of honey for an immediate kind of homemade electrolyte. And then the other thing that I have gotten from Costco is this. So it's a Super B complex with electrolytes. So I might do this on the hottest days. But it's got the niacin, the vitamins, the B complex, all the things that they need. So this is a pill, so I just drop 1 in their water. Now I will say that I don't do all of these methods all the time because too much electrolytes, just like for humans, it's not good for the geese either. So I usually try to do it maybe only once a week or 2 times a week, depending on how hot it is. Lately, I've been doing it about every 2 weeks because we've been floating around 100. This week, I'll probably do it twice a week. So since I did it yesterday, I'll probably wait until Wednesday or Thursday and then do another boost. So those are all the things that I can think of to share. Hope you have a great day. Stay cool if you can.